Sometimes you got to leave the nest and venture off, get yourself together, find all the answers, and come back. That's how. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to do that. But you know what? I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to leave home. I just left home because I wanted to. I go home all the time. But I didn't. When I was younger, I didn't have to leave home. No, my my parents were very positive, very optimistic about a lot of different things. Yeah, my parents very I had good parents. They're very positive about a lot of different things. My parents never said I couldn't do something. I don't even think they knew if I could do it or not, but they just never said I couldn't do it. What they would say is, if I would tell my parents something I'm doing, they're like, "How's it going?" "Oh, it's going okay. Well, we'll keep doing it." That's what they would say, but they wouldn't really say too much negative stuff when I was growing up. Even as an adult, you know, now they didn't like when I got a name calling. Like I give you an example. If I say hey Monica girl, she's a hoe. Now they said don't call them hoes. Just call them loose girls. She didn't like that my way of expressing myself with the language I was using. She was like, "Yeah, I know you don't say hoes. Just call them loose girls." Yeah, you know. So instead of let me say something else I used to say. I used to say something else I used to say too. My mom would say, "No, don't say it like that. Say it like this." Yeah. I mean, hey, she's a. I think one time I was like, man, she's a. It was some woman that everybody knew in back at home, and I was saying, I think my sister was saying that she was a home wrecker, right? You know, and I said, "Well, what that mean?" And my sister said, "Oh, she's just a bitch." That sleep with people's husband, and and my mom was like, "No, she's a home wrecker." Yeah, say it like that. Yeah. I mean, my mom had a way with words, man. That shit was hilarious, man. I think that was her best skill set. She had a way with words. And I pick up a lot of that from her. She had a way with words, man. I'm telling you. But my mom was very she was a very different type of woman, I would say. She was she could sing, she could dance, she could write, cause she could speak. She could do a lot of different things. She was the type of person that would she could walk in the room and everybody be looking. She could flip the room. That's what she called it. I haven't met a lot of women that had that skill set, that have that skill set. You know. Yeah. So she's very different. I didn't even realize it until I got older. As a kid, I didn't. I mean, I saw things, but I didn't really understand it. So yeah, so she lived to be rest in peace to my mom. Salute, and my dad. Yeah, they lived to be very old. So, I got to spend a lot of time with them. But the only thing that I regret is I never took a vacation with them. Like me taking them on a vacation. It's my idea. We getting on a plane and we going to wherever. I never got a chance to do that. with them. Yeah, we went on vacation together, but I was a kid then, a teenager, you know. But that's the only regret I have. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot of game from my parents. Yeah, I learned a lot of game from my parents, you know. But my parents' generation were different, like a different breed, you know, in my opinion. Um, the shit my parents did, I don't see a lot of that today, you know. And it's so rare. Every time I meet somebody that does anything that's similar to my parents, shit, I don't want to let them go. Because it's like, oh shit, that's different. What's your phone number? I'm telling you, man. You know? That's how rare it is. You know? I mean, today we're in a pill popping society today. People popping on antidepressants, people on the narcotics,